What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our draft lottery stream. Eric couldn't make it, so I got special guest Gabe Von Carter from the Valley podcast. He's a Suns fan who doesn't get the thrills of the lottery this year for the first time in quite a while. But I figured we gotta get him on here for some entertainment value. So, Gabe, how's your day going, man?
It's going good. Like I was saying before, we've been playing 2K all day. It's really weird. In 2K, everybody's running around in Suns gear.
Oh, yeah.
And
the bandwagon Suns fans,
and
man.
Salty's so salty about it. He's like, I guarantee you that guy doesn't like the Suns. Like, to everyone that likes this, everyone wearing Suns stuff. But then the other thing is Nick Sundo, the other guy that we have on our channel, he goes, dude, what time are you guys gonna watch the lottery? Like, where are we gonna pick? And we're like, what are you talking about? Like, we're not get. And it's
did he forget how it worked?
Yes, because we are that locked into the lottery every year.
Yeah. When was the last time you guys were not in the lottery?
11, at least 11 years, I would imagine.
Yeah. So it's been a while for y'all. It's been a while for us too. It's been what, 8? Or it's been the opposite way. We haven't been in the lottery in like 8 years, so I'm used to just kind of kicking back, relaxing, and watching the lottery. I remember 2 years ago when our Blazers were in the Western Conference Finals, it was weird, like, having a game after the lottery. Like, we were the game after the lottery. This year, you guys are the game after the lottery. Is that kind of a weird feeling? Or, I mean, this whole year is pretty weird for you guys, huh?
It's been super weird, man. It's super, super weird. It's like we just keep waiting for that other shoe to drop to be like, oh, yeah, but you can't really do it but we just keep getting every break along the way. It's nuts. It's like a dream season. It almost feels meant to be in a lucky way.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, I gotta be honest, I am jealous of y'all. Just slightly jealous after getting that game on Western Conference Finals win. It's like, man, you guys went farther than I've ever seen my team go, sadly. But
also
we'll
weird.
See. This will be a fun off season. So this lottery is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I got the graphics set up for you guys, so I will be watching it. Please don't spoil because I think my feed might be a little bit behind. I will plug the picks in here as we go along, and I will do that to the best of my ability. I will watch the lottery on my phone. That's kind of the setup I got. But yeah, Eric was not able to make it today. He's being a good father right now. That's all I'll say about it. Eric's a phenomenal father, so that's what he's doing right now. He's fathering. So figured for a chill, laid back stream, what better guy to get on here? So, yeah, is the audio going to be included? I wasn't planning on including the audio. I just don't like risking it, you know. So I don't like risking it with the highlights or the audio of stuff or whatnot, so I wasn't planning on doing that. But I will plug it in, and I will say who gets the picks, and we'll see how good I can do this.
I love the graphics.
Yeah, man.
I love the color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I had this was the background before. I figured, I don't know, chat, which do you like? Do you like the gray background, or do you like the colorful? I think I like the colorful.
Yeah, there's something about that purple into red that's just...
Mm-hmm.
Just right.
Yeah. Everybody's going to say color. Yep. Figured. So last second, I threw this background up. I put this background together and threw it up for y'all. So that's why we're a little bit late. But yeah, so I don't know. You think the Suns win tonight? Are you how confident are you feeling? I know you guys are riding high, 8-game win streak. Feels like you guys can't lose, but I mean, you're still without Chris Paul. They're without Kawhi Leonard, so I guess it evens out. I guess that's the cool thing about that is it evens out in that regard. You guys win in game 2? If so, how much? What's your prediction?
I'm very level-headed and nervous about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if we went up 2-0, it wouldn't mean anything. The only time I'll start to feel the ability to breathe is when we are up by 3 games.
Yes.
So, like, I really hope we win tonight. I feel like I just don't know, bro. Because, all right, here's what it really boils down to. I was too optimistic. I thought that Chris Paul was coming back after the first game. I'm like, he'll miss one game, we can handle it. And then when that news broke that he's going to be gone for the second game, that's when I'm like, oh my God, can we beat them without Chris Paul twice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't got Kawhi, though. You know, like, it would be a different thing. If they had Kawhi, I would be picking them in this game. But without Kawhi...
Did you get a chance to watch any of that game?
The first game? I can't remember, so I don't think so, but I honestly can...
Listen, Paul George plays superhuman against the Suns. He always has. He loves, I don't know what it is about our jerseys or our city. He hates Devin Booker, and he literally is better than Michael Jordan when he plays versus us. And I tell everyone that, and everyone's like, oh, yeah. Watch game one. He looked superhuman. Yeah. He looked like an Avenger. So that plus no Chris Paul plus Ty Lue, say what you want about him, he's really good at making adjustments, man. He always finds a way. Get him down 2-0. He doesn't care. It's just he'll trot a completely different lineup, a completely different scheme. I'm worried, man. I don't even know if I could sit here and honestly say like we're gonna win. I don't know.
It'd be tough to be in that position as a fan because I'd feel like you don't know how high to be on your team. I mean, you guys won 8 games in a row, but still, it's a good Clippers team, Western Conference Finals. Like, you don't want to get too high and then come crashing back down to earth. But, I mean, you guys, in your situation, I think you guys are going to win this series. I think winning game 1 was huge. I mean, it depends on the timeline, but, I mean, it sounds like Kawhi ain't coming back, and you're going to get Chris Paul back at some point. I'm sitting here as a Blazer fan like, man, we should have been, like, for our finals run, we would have been favored in 2 of our 3 series if we had like a legitimately solid coach. We would have been favored against the Clippers without Kawhi, in my opinion. We would have been the better team. And against Denver, we were the better team. Against you guys would have been favored against us. But it's like, oh man, the path was so wide open. It makes me frustrated as a Blazer fan having, you know, not taken advantage of that first round and taking advantage of kind of a path where just everything's wide open. You get to the finals, you got the Bucks or the Hawks. Like,
dude, I was driving to work today and I was thinking, because I was listening to the radio, thinking they were talking about the Hawks. And I literally thought like the Hawks could win it this year. There's potential for the Hawks and Trae Young to win it because it's such a funky year. And I would be so happy for the Hawks, like unless they beat us, right? Yeah. I would, if they won, I would just take my hat off and just say congratulations and thank you. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way about the Suns. A lot of people are happy with the Suns and thinking, hey, if they win, good. That means anyone can win.
It reminds me of the NFL. Just with how wide open things are. I mean, you have 2 teams that were in the lottery last year. You had a team that got smoked in the second round last year. And you got a Clippers team that, like, they're kind of, I don't know if you want to call them a super team or not, but, you know, they got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and free agency, big market, yada, yada. But it was a team that choked against Denver in the second round. So none of these teams were even in the conference finals last year. And one of them is about to win the championship. I like it. I think it's fun. Anybody that thinks it's boring, I feel like isn't a like true diehard fan of the sport of basketball. Right. There's just more about like, oh, I want the players that are hyped up. That's who I want to watch. I want to watch Steph Curry against LeBron James for 5 years in a row. I love it. I love it because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, playoffs in years past, it's like, oh, it's just going to be the Warriors again.
Ratings
now
are up.
Now it's like, you don't know. Yeah.
Ratings are up like, what was it, like 39%? You know, I mean, it's a lot less political this year, so I think that has a little bit to do with it. But because people were, some people were tuning out, turned off by that. That's not happening this year, and I don't know, man. Who's to say it's not going to be better for the NBA than LeBron being in the finals again?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I said that. I said if the league had more parity, I don't think ratings would take a hit. And people are like, oh, if you don't have LeBron, if you don't have Steph, ratings are going to take a hit. That's why the NBA will always rig it for LeBron, for Steph, and, if they didn't, then their ratings would take this huge hit because that's who all the casual fans want to see. I never bought that. And I think this year, and ratings being up, shows what I was arguing a few years ago, where it's like nobody wants to see the same thing over and over and over again. Nobody's going to watch the playoffs if they know it's just going to be Golden State versus Cleveland. They'll watch the playoffs if multiple teams have a legitimate chance and nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what you have this year.
I certainly tuned in for Mavericks versus the Heat because you were just hoping that this team that was just that, a team, could knock off this super team, and they did. And how great was that for everyone?
Yeah, 100% agree. So let's get to the lottery. The three teams with tied for the best odds are Houston, Detroit, and Orlando. They all have 14% chance at the number one overall pick. Fourth and fifth is Oklahoma City and Cleveland, 11.5% chance at the number one overall pick. Sixth is Minnesota's pick, but it's only top three protected. It's the pick that they traded for D'Angelo Russell. So unless that pick is top three, that pick is actually Golden State's. So if Minnesota's able to jump into the top three, good for them. They keep their pick. If not, they might end up fourth because they draw for the top 4 slots in the lottery. If it's fourth, it goes to Golden State. If it stays at 6, it goes to Golden State. That's a bad trade. Looking back on that, Minnesota giving up what could be a very good pick for D'Angelo Russell. Has not panned out for them.
No. And to think we were so mad that the Suns wouldn't sign D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell's always been overrated, man.
It's not. It was
defensively.
It was more about we're just always trying to make Book happy because we're terrified he's going to leave us because we know that we're an ugly man and he's a hot woman and we can't bear to lose him, right? So it's just like, well, as fans, we're like, well, what do you want, baby? Do you want a ring? Do you want earrings? And what do I need to buy you? What do I need to give you? And the ownership was like, no. They just caught him with weed in like a pouch or something at the airport, and it was like, no, we're not letting him come in. You remember that?
You're talking about they caught D'Angelo Russell with weed?
Yes.
Yeah, I never even heard about that, to be honest.
I don't know. Maybe I'm living under a rock. He had it in like a water bottle. He was trying to hide it in like a bottle or something, and it was just very dumb. Like, you should be smarter than to think that you can do that.
Yep.
So
that trade has backfired for them. It worked out for you guys getting Chris Paul instead of him. I mean, that's an understatement.
Yes.
Seventh best odds, 7.5% chance number one overall pick is Toronto. Eighth is Chicago's pick, but it's going to Orlando. That pick is only top 4 protected. That pick was traded. Yeah. So Orlando has the third pick, but tied for number one odds. And they also have the 8th pick unless Chicago jumps into the top 4. Chicago's pick is top 4 protected. And that was in the Vucevic trade that they traded it. So if Chicago can get into the top 4, they get to keep their pick. If not, their pick goes to Orlando. So Orlando could have 2 top 10 picks. Now, something that I didn't say about the Houston pick, which is the number 1 overall pick so far, until the lottery, is if their pick falls out of the top 4, it goes to OKC. So you could end up having chaos in this lottery based on protections. Houston's pick is only top 4 protected, and they only have a 52% chance of staying in the top 4. So they have a 48% chance of falling out of the top 4. If that happens, that pick goes to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City could have the 1st and 5th overall picks in this draft if theirs jumps up to 1 and Houston falls out of the top 4. So in terms of protections, this lottery is very interesting. 9th is Sacramento, 10th is New Orleans, 11th is Charlotte, 12th is San Antonio, 13th is Indiana, 14th is Golden State. So that is the odds for the lottery. We're waiting on them to get the process underway. They were talking to Anthony Edwards, I think that was, so we'll see.
Just wanted to say real quick, man, we got had at one point over 289 people in here, but we got 45 likes. Come on, people, don't be stingy with the likes. It costs you nothing.
Gabe campaigns for our stuff to get liked more than we do. So
I don't even. I feel like
you'll come in chat. I love it. You'll come in chat like, why is the like button so low? And I'll be like, hell yeah.
I campaign for you guys to get likes more than I do for our own. Like, I don't even ask for likes. I don't know. It kind of feels like begging when you're doing it for yourself. But when you're doing,
I can campaign for you guys. You can campaign for us.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
I think that comes across better. Yeah, we're not beggars
for sure.
You know, so yeah, definitely hit that like button. Appreciate it.
No, and so Jared says we're lazy. LMAO, dude. I know. Like, I'll be watching stuff. I watch people on YouTube that I'm not even subscribed to, but I watch it's like you just sometimes forget, you know, and you're just sitting there like enjoying the show, you know. So it is,
dude. It's like
out every once in a while.
I assume I'm not the only one who, before I fall asleep, I'll just go down a YouTube rabbit hole until I get tired enough to set my phone down.
Yep.
That's literally me. And I'm not thinking about subscriber or anything. I'm just clicking at whatever looks interesting and just laying there watching it. And then I'm clicking on the next thing. And I'm not pressing anything else.
Yeah. Man. I'm ready for the Suns to sneak up the lottery and get this first overall pick.
Yeah, you don't need no first overall pick. We need a first overall pick, man.
Dude, I would be so excited for you guys. Who do you have being the best player coming out?
Right now, it's tough because I got guys like ranked pretty similarly. Right now, I have Evan Mobley.
Okay.
As the number one. I am not as high on Cade Cunningham, but I'm not like down on him. I would just rather have Mobley, because I think he can be like an elite rim protector. I think he can be like the next Anthony Davis. I think he has that sort of potential. Maybe even a little bit better. I don't know. Evan Mobley, I really, really like. Second and third, I have Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green in the same tier. I love Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green's a little bit underrated. Most mock drafts have him 3-4. I think you could maybe make a case for him over Cade Cunningham. He's not the same. He's not exactly the same player as like a Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum was a guy that I loved when he came in the draft.
Yeah.
And I said he was the best player in the draft. Like, I'm getting the same sort of feelings with Jalen Green. So Jalen Green's a guy I really like. Jalen Suggs, I have number 4 overall. And I'm a Gonzaga fan. Right. So you can't say I'm biased with that. Most people have him 3rd or 4th. I have Jalen Suggs 4th. I love Jalen Green. I think that's a clear-cut top 4. So after that, there's a little bit of a drop-off. Then you have Kuminga, Scottie Barnes. Jay Billis has Davion Mitchell as his 5th best prospect, which I think is surprising. But yeah, it's like a clear-cut top 4 and then a bit of a drop-off.
So compared to last year, like, can you compare last year's draft to this one? Like, let's say last year, like, what's last year a 1 out of 10 as far as like a greatness scale?
Going in, sorry, go.
No, that was it. That was all I was saying.
Yeah. I mean, going in, people said it was like a 2 or a 3. Looking back, it's probably like a 7
out of 10.
Yes, people thought last year's draft was going to be awful, and then they showed out this year. You're maybe missing the quality in terms of like top level guys, but this year's draft is legitimate. I thought they were about to start showing it, but no, they got to get their commercials. So yeah, last year's draft, people looked at it as being bad, but you had, I mean, Emmanuel Quickley was a sleeper that ended up being legitimate. Tyrese Maxey looks legitimate. Peyton Pritchard. Halliburton was a guy I liked. I didn't think he would be this good, though. It's very, very deep. You have a ton of good role players already. Kenyon Martin Jr. is another guy. He was drafted late second, and he was pretty good this year for Houston. So you're maybe missing like the star caliber guys. Like, you don't have like a Zion, maybe not even a John Morant. I know everybody loves LaMelo, and Anthony Edwards looked really good to end the season. I just don't know if either of those guys are going to be like top 10 players at any point. Whereas like you could say Zion would, and if Ja learns how to shoot, I could see him being a top 10 player at some point. So that's kind of where you're missing, but otherwise, depth-wise, very, very legit. This year's draft, you got like 4 guys, I think, that would have been number 1 last year. Maybe 5.
Really?
Yes.
So this is really a better draft coming up.
Yes. This draft is loaded. This draft is deep, and it's top-heavy. Like, you got the top 4 guys, I wouldn't be surprised to see them all become legitimate stars. Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, like they all have star potential, and it's not just like star potential. I feel like they have a good chance at fulfilling that potential. So the next tier of guys you have under that are all very interesting. Scottie Barnes, I feel like, has a lot of upside. He's kind of a boomer bust guy. He's kind of a Draymond-esque type guy. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
No.
He played at Florida State. He's like 6'9", athletic, can pass, can handle the ball, can defend. He just has questions about his jumper. But you got a lot of prospects where it's like, if they figure out how to do this or if they figure out to do that, they'll be insanely good. So this draft is super top-heavy, super legit. So, I mean, we'll see. You never know. Like, last year, everybody thought it was going to be a bad draft, and it ended up looking pretty good this year. So, maybe some of these guys don't pan out quite how people are expecting, but going in, people are looking at this as the best draft in years.
Wow. I had no idea. Because the Suns have been so good, I've neglected to watch much college.
Yeah.
You know, like
I feel that.
That's been the driving force for me watching college for a while now, because I'm a Creighton fan, but I know our limits. Like we got really far into the tourney this year for us. But it's just, I don't know. I'm not die hard into college, except for the fact that we always suck. So I'm like, well, I want to know. I want to know ahead of time who should we pick. I said Luka over Ayton.
Did you?
Even though I loved Ayton, I really loved him, I kept asking Nick Sundo and Salty. I kept saying, are we sure that it's not Luka? And, they convinced me. Salty convinced me, I think, really, because we always get crappy Euro players. And it's like, how is this Euro player going to be our first good one? But Mavs, they are good at drafting Euro players.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of their niche. It's funny because certain teams will kind of establish a pattern with the prospects they like to draft. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. It was just, you'll go into the draft on draft day, and then a team will take somebody, and it's like, oh, of course they take that player. The Spurs are always like, they'll take a guy who's just like really skilled, but not the most athletic, like a Derek White or a Kyle Anderson, or, with late in the first, and that guy will almost be guaranteed to become a good role player.
Yep.
That's kind of the Spurs thing. The Dallas and San Antonio, like the Euro prospects. But now it's like a situation where like it seemed like there was a few teams that were ahead of the curve in terms of drafting Euro prospects, but now it's like the scouting has caught up to it. You get Nikola Jokic 41st overall, you get Giannis 15th overall. Luka should have went number 1. I mean, almost every draft you can find a Euro guy that was undervalued. So it's going to be interesting to see if they continue to get valued a little bit higher in the coming years. Because in the past, they've definitely been undervalued, and that's why Denver got Jokic 41st overall. That's crazy. He got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. That's how low in the draft.
Man, that's crazy.
Spurs fan Gary, who is, I know he's in the lottery, who is your, like, ideal targets for the Spurs? I'm interested to see what you say. But yeah, I haven't done enough, like, scouting-wise, because we don't have any picks this year, sadly. We don't even have a second rounder. So I have not paid it. Like, I watch college basketball and I pay attention to these prospects, but I don't know them as well as I'd like to. So. But I know it was a good draft. From what I've seen, it's intriguing.
It sounds like Orlando's going to come away a different team after this, one way or another.
I mean, good for them because they were hurt so badly in the past year. Them in Indiana, I feel for them and their injury issues. They're interviewing Davion Mitchell right now. Yeah, I love how they make it some like super drawn out show where they interview a bunch of people. Like, just show me the picks. Chat, who is your number one prospect in this year's draft? Throw out a name. What's up, Zach? Spurs will go Euro. Alperen, what's his name? Sangyun? This seems like a Spurs guy. Who are they interviewing now? I don't even recognize him. How does Gabe feel about Booker in the Olympics? So let's say the Suns go to the finals. How do you feel about Booker playing in the Olympics? I think you muted yourself.
My bad. I want him to play. I know it's selfish and dangerous because he's going to go right from the Olympics right back into an NBA league season. But I just don't know. This is like, I'm sure for him too. He's always been an outsider. Like they'll bring him in for practice and let him try out for the team, but they never pick him. The fact that he's been picked, I don't think he's going to be able to resist. And I don't think I want him to resist, Has
he technically been picked yet?
I think so.
You had Kevin Love saying he was playing. It seems like it's people saying that they want to play, but it's not necessarily the final team. But I would assume that Booker would be a pretty good bet to be on that final team.
He's stepped his name up and his game up. I think he's actually undisputably worthy of playing.
All right, here we go with the lottery.
Playing for the USA team. And Chris Paul is too.
Yep. Here we go with the lottery. We're finally going to move forward with this process. The 14th overall pick. Better go to the Warriors. Good, it goes to the Warriors. If they jumped into the top 4, I was going to be triggered. The 13th overall pick goes to, this is supposed to be Indiana. And it is. Indiana gets the 13th overall pick.
I guess they're saying CP3 said no. I thought he agreed.
The 12th overall pick goes to the San Antonio Spurs. Poor Gary, man.
Almost, G.
The 11th overall pick is supposed to go to the Charlotte Hornets, and it does go to the Charlotte Hornets, so things are holding to form. The 10th overall pick is supposed to go to the New Orleans Pelicans. And the 10th overall pick will be the New Orleans Pelicans. No drama. 9th, I don't remember who 9th is supposed to be. But the 9th pick will go to the Sacramento Kings. I think that's everything holding to form there. Yes, it is. The 8th overall pick, Chicago's pick going to Orlando. So Chicago will not have a lottery pick. Chicago misses out.
Oof.
The 7th overall pick is supposed to be the Toronto Raptors. We'll see if somebody can jump into the top 4. The 7th overall pick is the Golden State Warriors via the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, you have the Toronto Raptors jumping into the top 4.
Wow. So did you think Golden State was going to get a top 4?
It was protected, so I didn't.
Okay.
The 6th overall pick is going to Oklahoma City. Oh, I accidentally hit that. Whoops. Where'd that go? Yeah. The Cleveland Cavaliers have moved into the top 4. The 5th overall pick goes to the Orlando Magic. I'll try and get the numbers back. Now you will have a commercial break. The top 4 teams have been revealed. It is Toronto, Cleveland. Let me throw it up here. Toronto, Cleveland, Houston is one of them. And Detroit is one of them. So there's people in our mock offseason that are rooting for specific teams here. Let me try and get that. Where'd that base go? Why'd that disappear? That's strange.
I love that the Warriors didn't get much better than 7-14.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably the best case scenario is them moving down, because if that pick moved into the top 3, it would have been to Minnesota. But then Minnesota would have owed their unprotected 2022 first-round pick to Golden State, which could have been dangerous. So instead of getting an unprotected 2022 Minnesota first, they get the 7th overall pick. So honestly, that's probably the best case scenario in terms of Golden State not getting completely lucky in the draft lottery. Let me put the 5th team up here, which is the Magic. All right. I'm not going to look at chat. I don't want any of it spoiled.
Yeah, I got it blocked too.
Yeah. Woo. That's the problem. I need to get cable, man, so I'm not on a delay. But sure. that's the tough part of watching YouTube TV.
Real quick before, and I know you've probably gone over this, so I apologize for being the 1 billionth person. But are you warming up to Ben Simmons?
Dropped a video on it.
Okay, I'll watch it.
At 4 p.m. So after the stream, if y'all want to watch it, then yeah, go check it out. It wasn't necessarily my best recording, but I think it was still a decent video. I gave my thoughts on kind of that whole...
it's smart to do it that way.
That whole thing. But short answer, I think there's better options out there, and I am on the fence as to whether or not I'd trade CJ for him straight up. But like the only way I'd be okay with that is if we exhausted all other potential trade avenues. So, yeah, I'm not high on him. A lot of Blazer fans do indeed want him. I am not thrilled at the idea. So, did you see what Stephen A. Smith said about him today? Like, you don't watch that. You're too good for that. Bro, they're too bad for me to watch it.
So,
I'm not too good.
Let me tell you. Have you heard? Did it seep through?
I know he recommended a CJ for Ben Simmons trade.
He was sitting there live and he said, I just got a text message. From somebody very close to the situation. And they're saying he doesn't work. He doesn't listen to anybody, and everybody around him is family, and they baby him.
I mean, that sounds about right. I mean, the dude has not improved since his rookie year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. You know, you got to take everything Stephen A. Smith says with a grain of salt. Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, I don't want him. And I suspect that that's kind of the case. That's why I'm just like, at the idea, man. Well, also, I think he's shooting with his offhand. That's also part of it. I think he's shooting with the wrong hand.
And his brain's broken. Like, what's his face? Wasn't it Tristan Thompson who, like, 8 years in was like, nah, I'm going to start shooting with my right hand now. Like, you're going to what?
Yeah. I mean, but he improved, though, you know? But, like, Ben Simmons does everything...
That was Kid Gilchrist.
Was it Kid Gilchrist? No, it was Tristan Thompson. It was Tristan Thompson. Twistin. I just called him Twistin. Twistin Thompson.
Too good.
Changed his hand. The hand he was shooting with. Yeah. Anyway, we're back from a super long commercial break. Twistin Thompson.
Oh my God.
Let's see if Twistin Thompson's old team can get the #1 pick.
Yeah, let's see if do the Cavs. I'm not watching. Do the Cavs have their grandson of the owner there?
I'm not sure. They're not there in person. They're there on like Zoom or whatever. So now they're interviewing DeAndre Ayton. Can we go with the draft lottery, though? I know you're like,
They're interviewing Ayton? Isn't he getting ready for a game?
Yeah.
Oh, they're showing that. I thought he was at the lottery. Like, he just woke up and forgot what building to go to.
No, dang. You guys don't have Ayton. He went to the lottery instead.
Yeah,
he forgot this was 2021, Gabe.
Oh, so stupid. Man. Hit the like button, people, please. 511 watching. Slap that like if you don't mind for your boy, Twistin Thompson.
Here we go.
You don't have to hit the like button for us. Hit it for Twistin Thompson.
Hit it for good old Twistin. The 4th overall pick is going to the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
The third overall pick goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Is Toronto?
The second overall pick goes to the Houston Rockets, and the number 1 overall pick goes to the Detroit Pistons.
Wow, bro. So they've got Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I mean, so Eric is the Pistons in our mock off season. Last year, we had to, simulate the lottery, and he was the Hornets, and the Hornets won the simulated lottery, so we got the first pick in our mock offseason last year. This year, he gets the Pistons, and the Pistons get the number 1 overall pick. So Eric is just destined to have the number 1 overall pick in our mock offseason. Whoever he becomes next year, if it's a lottery team, they're going to get the number 1 overall pick at this point. I think it's rigged for Eric, honestly.
Good for you, Eric. You deserve it.
But, yeah, so the Pistons get the first overall pick. It's going to be interesting to see what they go with. I assume they go with Cade Cunningham. They kind of need a lead guard. They don't have a lead guard. They took Killian Hayes. He didn't look too good his rookie year. You're going to take the best player available. They could go Evan Mobley if they think he's the best player available. A lot of people have Cade Cunningham. Either way, I kind of hate that the Rockets got a top 2 pick because they're going to be able to get one of Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. Evan Mobley would be a great fit next to Christian Wood, or Cade Cunningham, Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood. They got an interesting core there already. But yeah, so they don't lose their pick to OKC. Not a lot of drama in this one. You do have the Raptors going up to number 4. I want the Toronto Raptors to take Jalen Suggs because I'm a huge Jalen Suggs fan. I like Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. got traded there. It would be awesome if their backcourt of the future was Jalen Suggs and Gary Trent Jr. That would make them my favorite team from the Eastern Conference. So,
man, Raptors Uprise, everybody.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do, man. Do they trade Siakam? Do they push a rebuilding timeline? Do they attach the 4th pick to something and try and get a legitimate player? I mean, maybe they try and go after Bradley Beal and try and re-sign Lowry. I mean, if you have Lowry, Beal, and Siakam, I don't know if they could get Beal without giving up, either of those guys, but they got the 4th overall pick, and there's a clear-cut top 4 in this draft of very legitimate prospects, so that's a good pick to try and use in a deal. Cavs at number 3 are interesting because obviously they have 2 guards already that they're moving forward with Garland and Sexton.
Yeah.
So I assume Jalen Green would kind of be the presumptive pick there because I think he has the size to play the 3.
But you think he's the real number 1 overall?
Jalen Green? No, I'd put Mobley above him.
Okay.
I'd still probably put Cunningham over him. I just feel like it's closer between those top 2 guys and Jalen Green than a lot of people are giving it credit for. So.
Weird to watch one of these without your team having a chance.
I know, huh? Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird to watch one of these with my team having a chance.
For you? Yeah.
So anyway, for everybody in our mock off season, let me update the sheets. Because we're waiting for the draft lottery to happen before we opened up the trade window. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let me make sure those are updated and I'll announce it on stream. So 6 p.m., Gabe, your game's tipping off. You are doing a play-by-play stream on your channel, right? So
yeah,
you want to plug that? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I will, let me see, I'll just say something here in the chat. And you guys can just click on my name there, the Valley Podcast, if you guys are interested in watching a live stream of us versus the Clippers. You're going to watch Paul George go God mode, and we have Scott Foster, the referee, tonight. So who knows what's going to happen? Book will probably get thrown out. I think you're muted.
I am muted. I said Scott Foster very bad. Scott Foster is very, very bad.
Very bad. He's, it's almost a good thing that Chris Paul isn't playing tonight because the last 11 games that Chris Paul has played with Scott Foster as the referee, he's lost. So we might need Chris Paul to sit this one out for statistics' sake. But yeah, man, thanks for having me, dude. I appreciate it.
For sure. Go check out Gabe and his live stream. He'll be doing a play-by-play live stream of Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between his Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. One last thing. What's your Twitter handle in case anybody wants to follow you?
It is at Gabe Von Carter. Like like Javon Carter. Because I'm bald like Javon. I said it.
Yep, that beautiful bald head.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, thank you for bringing us some entertainment and joining me on this draft lottery stream. Go have fun watching Game 2. Fingers crossed for you guys. I'm rooting for y'all, so hopefully you can take care of business.
Thank you, man. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel confident in you guys, but we'll see. We'll see. So, go catch your stream. I don't want to make you late for that.
We'll see you in the chat. Thanks, dude.
For sure. Appreciate you, man.
Take it easy, Blazers.
Alrighty, so let me get my full screen up here. So now I'm just going to make sure I got the team sheets correct. And then let's see if Gabe remembers how to hang up the Skype call. It's the red button, Gabe.
1 second.
Big red button.
I mean, I closed out of Skype. That's the crazy thing. Like, Skype is closed.
That doesn't hang it up. Here, I'll hang it up for you. There we go.
Hang up, please.
Have fun, man. Peace. Alrighty, so our mock off season, for any of those of you who don't know, we take 30 people from our community, including me and my co-host Eric Brandt, who wasn't able to be on this stream, and we give everybody a team. And we run through a mock offseason. We run through the real draft. We run through the real free agency. You can make trades. We follow all CBA rules because me and Eric are nerds like that. We know the CBA. So we follow all CBA rules. And basically everybody gets a team and they try and make moves with them. If you want to follow the Twitter account we have dedicated for our mock offseason, the handle is at WojMock. So definitely go and follow that Twitter account if you want to stay up to date. You can also join our Discord because that's where it's taking place. Our Discord link is in the description box below. I have to update the team sheets and everything. And then I'm going to open the trade window. We picked our teams 8 days ago. And we're waiting for the draft results to see where picks would end up before we started trading. So I have to update that, and then I will open up the trade window, and moves can start being made. So if you want to follow along with it, even if you're not a Blazer fan, this is a Blazer channel, you can follow along with what a Blazer fan does with your team in the mock offseason, if you're interested in that. But yeah, so let me try and update everything, and then we can get it rolling. There is a chance Cade falls to 4, says Krish. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think Jalen Suggs will get taken above him. I'm not too confident in that happening. I think Cade goes number 1. I think the Pistons go number 1 with Cade. We shall see. They could go Evan Mobley. You got two legitimate number 1 overall picks in this draft. And honestly, last year Jalen Green goes number 1. So any team that's in the top 4 is in a really good position. Whereas if you had the third overall was LaMelo. If you had the 4th overall pick last year, it was kind of a drop off from Wiseman, Ball, and Edwards. Thing is with Houston, I mean, Houston got the second overall pick and they were the worst team, but you get Mobley or you get Cunningham. Houston's in a really good position going into this draft. They also have the 23rd and 24th overall picks. It'll be interesting to see if they combine those to move up with those. Houston and OKC, with all the picks that they have this year, especially OKC because they have a ton of future picks as well, they have a ton of maneuverability in this year's draft. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of put some of those picks in play. I feel bad for Arshad. He was the Timberwolves GM in our mock off season, or is the Timberwolves GM in our mock off season. He doesn't get their pick. That D'Angelo Russell trade has not panned out whatsoever. OKC's a bit of a loser in this draft lottery as well. They don't get Houston's pick, which had a 48% chance of falling out of the top 4. If that happened, they would have gotten Houston's pick, and their pick also falls from 5 to 6, doesn't move up into the top 4. This was pretty much worst-case scenario for OKC. There was really no realistic way where this could have gotten worse for them, because had their own pick fallen more, that would have meant teams deep in the lottery would have moved into the top 4 and likely would have moved Houston's pick out of there to them. So I don't think this could have gone any worse, realistically, for OKC. This is pretty much the the worst case scenario for them, only getting the 6th pick in this year's draft. So OKC fans probably aren't too happy with the results in this one. I'm continuing to update the team sheets. Orlando is a mixed bag. You have them falling from 3rd to 5th, but also Chicago's pick didn't move up into the top 4, so their pick stays at 8, which means Orlando has the 5th and 8th picks. It'll be interesting to see if Orlando tries to combine the 5th and 8th picks to move up into the top 4, because as I said, there's a drop-off there. It'll be interesting to see if a team in the top 4, maybe a Toronto, maybe they don't want Jalen Suggs, they want to keep Fred VanVleet and move ahead with them. Maybe they want to move down. Maybe they trade the 4th pick and maybe some filler for the 5th and 8th picks. And maybe a team like Orlando really wants whoever's in number 4 and is willing to do that. It'll be interesting to see if that's a possibility. So you got a lot of options in this year's draft for trade ups, trade downs. I think there's going to be a lot of trades in this year's draft. Sorry if you're asking me questions. I'm updating the team sheets for our mock off season with all the picks and whatnot. So just give me a second. I will announce once the trade window has opened. What about the 3rd pick? What do you think? I mean, that's going to be kind of the pivot point, because I think Toronto would love to have Jalen Green, but I don't see the Cavs taking Jalen Suggs when they already have those 2 guards. Jalen Suggs would be a good fit next to Sexton. It's hard to find a good fit next to Sexton. I think Suggs would be a pretty good fit if they wanted to move off Garland, but do they want to move off Garland? Do they want to move off Sexton? The rumor's been Sexton. I think Suggs would be a good fit off of Garland as well. So maybe they go Suggs, and then Toronto at 4 would just say, awesome, we get Jalen Green, who would slide in quite nicely as kind of their future small forward. But if the Cavs go Green, then it'll be interesting to see if the Raptors want Suggs or do they not. Maybe they go and get a guy like Kuminga instead, and then Suggs falls to 5. But that's kind of my point, where they could maybe trade down from 4th to Orlando, 5th, and maybe get another asset. Because I feel like whichever team would trade up to 4th overall would be trading up to take whichever is left out of Mobley, Cunningham, Green, and Suggs. All right, let me just double check a couple things here. So Houston's pick ends up staying with Houston, which means they owe a future pick to OKC. I gotta sort that out. Let's see here. If you guys want to know how to view future picks for team protections, all that sort of thing, I go to realgm.com and I look at future drafts, but the detailed version. So if you search RealGM future drafts detailed, you'll find it. Oh no, it was they owed a swap. Yeah, so Houston owed OKC a swap. So OKC could have swapped Miami's first-round pick with Houston's first-round pick if Houston's first-round pick was 5th or lower. So OKC would have gotten it. Houston would have gotten Miami's pick. So because the pick falls in the protected range, Houston doesn't owe OKC anything. So actually, Houston doesn't owe OKC a future pick now. Otherwise, everything else fell where it should, relatively speaking, in terms of protections. So yeah, I think team sheets are good to go. If your team sheet isn't, if there's something fishy on there, let me know, but everything should be good to go. So let me look at the stream chat. Is Eric still in here? Eric, I'm gonna call it. All right, so for everybody in our mock off season, Arshad said he woke up at 6 a.m. for this. Rest in peace. Poor Arshad. He's the GM of the Timberwolves. I will tweet out the remaining rumors in the trade block here shortly. For everybody in our mock offseason, I'd say this. Don't be in a rush to make moves happen. Try and maximize your value that you get in your trades. Last year, we had a bunch of people make a bunch of deals right off the bat and then regret it because they could have gotten something better or they didn't think about it enough. So don't be in a rush. I know a couple people, aren't available at this very moment. Eric's one of them. I think the Orlando Magic, I forget who's running them, is one of them. So don't be in a rush, but I am going to officially open the trade window for our mock off season. The trade window is now open. You can now make trades with other teams. As I said earlier in the stream, if you want to follow a Twitter account to stay up to date with moves that are made, at WojMock is the Twitter account. So the trade window is now officially open. So with that, that's going to wrap up our draft lottery stream. Thank you for watching. We appreciate all you tuning in. We'll be back Thursday with Blazers Uprise Live, where we'll cover some of the trades made in our mock off season. If you're not subscribed to Blazers Uprise Live, it is our second channel that we stream on Mondays and Thursdays. It's going live around 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. The link to Blazers Uprise Live is in the description below. It's at the very top of the description below, so make sure you go subscribe to that so you can tune in for our live stream, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday. And with that being said, that wraps it up. We'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'm by myself here. So anyway, until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.